This is the freshest sashimi I've ever seen." The meat with blood on it was brought to the queen's table. The queen opened her mouth. She swallowed the heart in front of her, although it was very bloody. But she resisted swallowing it into her stomach because this heart could make her pregnant after decades of infertility. In this country, the king loved his queen very much. Whatever the queen wanted, the king would always satisfy. But only one thing has always been the couple's heartache. The queen was always sullen and unhappy. The queen always wanted to have a child, but could not get pregnant. To make her happy, the king called for a circus show. The audience laughed at the hilarious actions of the actors, but the queen still looked sad. Unfortunately, there was a pregnant scene in the show. This made the queen feel that she was being mocked. Angry, she slammed the door and left. After the king found the queen, not only did he not complain, instead, he embraced the queen with great pain. He promised that he would find all the doctors to make the queen's wish come true. Not long after the reward order was issued, the king was approached by a witch dressed in a black robe. She told the king that she had a secret recipe to hunt a monster of the deep, take out its heart, then have a virgin cook it. Then the queen would eat it, and in no time she would be pregnant with a child. But the risk of this method is that since a new life is born, then a new life will be born, and with it a life will be lost. The queen hastened to say that if she could conceive a child, she could die for it. Looking at his wife's insistence, the next day, the king led his men to the sea, ready to hunt. The king, who loved his wife as much as his life, naturally did not want the queen to die, so he put on heavy armor and special gloves and oxygen helmet alone. With a sharp spear in hand, he slowly dived into the sea. After coming to the bottom of the sea, the king found a dormant water monster. This sea monster was huge. Its body was white without a single blemish. He had no chance to fight it head-on. The king chose to sneak up on it. He carefully walked over to the sea monster while it was sleeping. Then he raised the spear in his hand, stabbed the sea monster's body with all his strength. The intense pain woke up the sea monster. He struggled in pain and crashed into the king. Blood stained the water red. The bottom of the sea was muddy. At the last moment, the sea monster swung its tail. It also gave the king a blast. Finally, the king killed the sea monster. The guards opened the stomach and took out the heart of the sea monster. After the king looked at the heart, he also died of blood loss. The queen went to the king's side. Watching the king's death, she did not seem to have any grief. What she cared about now, she only cared about the heart that could make her pregnant. She wrapped the heart carefully. Then, clutching it to her chest, she turned around and left. When she returned to the palace, she first found a virgin maid. She left her alone to cook the heart. The maid went to the kitchen and put the heart into a pot. As she watched the fire and the steaming steam fill the pot, she suddenly felt hot all over, so she quickly unzipped her skirt. But suddenly, she found that her belly was slowly growing bigger. A virgin is inexplicably pregnant with a child.